Hello guys, this is we again, and in this tutorial we are going to talk about visibility modifiers. I know you must be waiting for this. You will be like, oh, security and access control and all those kind of things, right? Okay, it's not that much actually. But it's really good practice in a way if you think it's a classic object oriented thing. Okay, in Kotlin also they have like visibility modifiers, because Java supports it, so they might thought, why not? And it's good only. It's really useful, I mean, if you are going for like a high level of and scalable, programs and libraries, then this is one of the things which is really useful. That's what I think. Okay, so there are four types of visibility modifiers in Kotlin. I'll just write it down. One is a private. Okay, oops, you cannot actually write it down as a Kotlin file, so I'm just going to tell you. Okay, one is private, another one is protected, another one is public, and the last one is internal. Okay, as you can see, there are like four kind of modifiers. Okay, so by default all the data members, when you create a class, right, for example class person, okay, by default all the data members are like public. So you write like variable name string empty, right? So by default this is public, so you can actually write public here. That wouldn't make any sense. You see, it's already giving that redundant visibility modifier because it doesn't make, because by default it's public. But you can write something like something like private, and that would make some sense. Okay, so now let's create why the private in here. Okay, so why the private means it'll be just only accessible through class. Okay, see, there is nothing that much to do when it comes to visibility modifiers. You can just read it out online, no big deal. So but in Kotlin there are like different ways to do that. If you are writing inside package, right, or in one particular file, so the effect of visibility modifier, it'll be different when it comes to file level, or it'll be different when it comes to module level, and it'll be different when it comes to class level. So but it's again, it's all access. As I told you, private means you can actually access inside that particular scope. So for example, if you are defining a class, then inside this particular class only you can do. If you are talking about, like, for example, some private function, right, ABC, something like this. Okay, so this private function, when you write at file level, right, this will be actually available in the main.cat only. You cannot access outside. Okay, so these are like three levels of protocols they have, for file level, for package or module level, and for class level. So for class level, this is it. And protected, when it comes to class level, right, you can actually access for class and all the subclass that extend that particular class. And the public is by default. Public means visible to everyone else. And internal is kind of like a new kind of visibility modifier. So mainly it's for the module kind of thing. So for example, if you are building some sort of module or something like that, so that will be actually accessible throughout that module only, not the file or something like that. So this is like I will be talking about visibility modifiers when it comes to packages and modules talk, which is actually covered in advance kind of Kotlin, because I thought it'd be a good idea, to give thought, because after that you can actually create your own packages and modules and your libraries and stuff like that. Yeah, and here module is actually a library that you're creating, so that library level access, if you, for example, if you're creating a library, right, and if you want some variable to be available at the library level but not outside of that particular library, right, so that's called module. So at that time you can actually, because one module can contain so many packages, and one and in Kotlin, file and packages are a different thing. For example, if you're in Java, right, it's kind of makes sense, that to create a package, and in Kotlin multiple files can belong to one package also, so but this is all those things we will be talking about in packages and imports. I actually have a dedicated plans for that, because it's something to we need to take a look at, to understand the overall structure of big applications. And when you are going to build a big applications, you need to have those ideas. So yeah, that's it for now. I mean, just if you want more information, you can just read it out. There is nothing to program or something, in here. It's all like it's so these are like these things, right? For example, if you're creating some sort of a data structure or some sort of, okay, let's say server you're creating, right? So at the time, the server level TCP connection, right, you don't want actually give access to anybody else. At that time you can just keep it private. So once it's created inside server, it should not be accessible to anybody else. Why? Because server is the only who's going to just accept the connections, right? Not anybody else can just go and start listening to that particular TCP. So those kind of things, but it comes with the experience, all these feasibility modifiers, right? If you see a lot of languages, they don't even have support for this. They just have like private and public, just make everything hide or just show everything, something like that. But yeah, it's good to have some bit of elaborated, modifiers. But yeah, it's all sort of like philosophical and logical thinkings. There is nothing to program in here. So yeah, that's it guys for this visibility thing. Okay, see you in the next tutorial.